Look. Look.
Stop talking to him.
Look. Now, right. If you are just joining this, I'm fucking starving. I've been sat in there in this hotel. The restaurant didn't open until 6. It's just opened. I've had to look at this menu since 12 o'clock. Starving. With nothing else there. But look, so I'm asking for, if you're watching this now, please give it a share. This is important. Important in the sense that Chris, many of you have probably seen the video I done, or we done. That's it, thank you very much. Many of you have seen a video done, the video we've done about Chris is in the Navy. Now there's a meeting tomorrow in the Navy with Chris's family. And I'm going down there in the morning. All of you have signed a petition so far. That petition is going to be handed in. Now we're at 25, nearly 26,000 signatures. We want to hit 30. It takes you 2 seconds. If you've watched the videos and haven't signed it, sorry, I'll ask that you please just quickly sign it. It takes 1 minute. 1 minute. Those extra names, if it was 30,000, we're going to keep this going. It might be 50,000, it might be 60,000, 100,000. I want to make sure the Navy get those signatures. They understand. Tomorrow when they go into that meeting with Chris's family, I hope they realise that the British public are watching. They're watching this treatment. If you want to talk about troops morale, I have been inundated, bombarded with serving members of the Royal Navy, bombarded with ex-forces groups, with people who are disgusted at what's happened to this man. If some of you are new on what's happened to this man, he served 34 years in the Royal Navy. He has a stroke, 18 months to go on his contract. He has a stroke. He was a serving chief, an acting serving chief for 8 years. They wait 6 months whilst he's in a coma. They wait 6 months and they drop him down to a petty officer. They drop him down to a petty officer. So then when he finishes his time, they don't medically discharge him. They've not medically discharged him. If they did medically discharge him, he gets further help and he doesn't have to pay tax on his pension. He comes out better off, which is what they should be doing, trying to do everything they can to help this man. Instead, they drop him down a pay grade and then they let him sit there where he can't even speak for the last 12 months of his contract, just sitting in a room. Still employed by the Navy, still working, as they say it. It's just not. And imagine the situation at this time for his wife. He can't do anything. He can't give authority for anything because he can't speak. He's in such a health situation that they've been able to sort nothing. And at the same time as that, then he owns a 2-bedroom flat, which is in Telford, worth £75,000. No equity at all in it. But then because he owns a flat, he can't get housing. Now, imagine trying to sell a flat when you're basically in a coma for a year and you can't speak. Pretty hard, right? So his family have been trying to sort that out. With all the added stress, all the added problems, they're trying to sort that out. They get it up for sale. 6 months they've been waiting to do this. Now, then the Navy come around, we're evicting you from your house. Now, with what they've dropped his pension to, with the money he's dropped his pension to, and the health problems he has, once he gets his pension and he pays tax on it, because of course they haven't medically discharged him, which they should have done. They should medically discharge him because of a backlog. That's not his problem. That's your problem. It's the Navy's problem. It's not his problem. Then when you take that money off of that, and he tries to pay for his flat mortgage, and then the rent, because they've doubled his rent, they've said, okay, you can stay here till January. You can stay from evicting him instantly, taking him to court, so you can stay here till January, but you have to pay double the rent you were paying. It's just the whole thing, man. The whole thing is wrong. Now, again, look, I'm just going to ask you again, if you haven't signed it, share this, right? Because tomorrow I'm heading to Portsmouth to meet with his missus, and I want to hand her 30,000 signatures. I want to say 30,000 members of the British public are outraged and disgusted by what's happened to Chris. And I hope that the Sea Lord, I addressed, what was his name? Philip? I can't remember. I made my address to him. Yeah, I've messaged him. I've tweeted him. Now, I'm not against the military. I'm completely in support of all of our military. I'm in support of the Navy, and I've put it on his head to say he may not have known what happened to Chris. He may not have known anything about this, but he does now. He does now, and it's well within his authority and his power to extend Chris's contract. and then give him what he should have had. He should be medically discharged. So, again, if this was the Sea Lord, then I'm not against you at all. And in fact, if you make the right decision, will everyone, 30,000 people, will see that we still have men of integrity in high positions, high-ranking positions within the Navy that made sure the situation was sorted out. And how do you sign? It's on the website. The website is helpchris.co.uk. Helpchris.co.uk. Take you 1 minute. Just sign the petition, please. Pass it on. Forward it to your family. Get your family to sign it. Get your missus to sign it. Get your uncle to sign it. Get people to sign it. Let's get this petition. We've literally, and I'll tell you why I'm telling you now, because although I'm handing the petition in tomorrow, when I leave this hotel, I'm in Gatwick, when I leave this hotel, by the time I get home, I'm then going to video myself printing off the 30,000 signatures. So I'm going to have to print them off tonight. So the deadline is probably 2 hours, 3 hours. If you can get it signed, yeah? Get it signed, and that one little signature, one little difference we're going to make is going to make a difference to Chris if they reverse the decision. If they do what's right, this is the thing. If they do what's right, we're not even asked to do anything special. Just do what's fucking right. If they do what's right by Chris, his life's not going to be great anyway. Neither is his family. They're going to have a lifetime of stress now. He's disabled for the rest of his life, but they're going to make it little bit less stressful, a little bit easier, a little bit more bearable, a little bit more capable. That's all it is. Which you should be bending over after a man served 34 years for his queen and country. You should be doing that anyway. That's what all the stops should be pulled out. Do you know what they do then? What they've done is they've got rid of so instead of the military dealing with the housing, it's now a civil company, because then they ain't got no backbone. They ain't got no military strings attached. So then they're just like, get out of the house next week, mate. Nah. And I'm glad so far we're at 25,000 signatures. If they don't get housed and they don't get support and they need somewhere to stay, then I know that we'll start a campaign and you, the British public, will support him. Thank you to everyone who has signed it. Thank you.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.